What I'm about to show you now is the observation room of the audiometric suite. I'll show you the observation room first, and then we'll move on to the control room. The observation room consists of two walls. It's basically a room within the room. And so we have the first door, and it's a 4-inch wall. There's 4-inch space with acoustic absorbing material. And then the second door opens to the inside. And it is here where we have our participants, once they've been wired up, come into the observation room. And it's within this room then that we actually connect the electrodes that we've placed on them in the prep area to the electroencephalograph. It's at that point then that we're ready to start taking measurements in the control room and to initiate the experiments that we'll be engaged in, which will typically involve having some sort of stimulus presented on the computer screen that you see in there, which also happens to be an eye tracking unit. So this eye tracking unit has both infrared sensors and detectors which radiate very safe low levels of infrared light off of the back of the retina and back onto the sensors. And in this way, the machine is able to tell exactly what part of the screen is being looked at. We go through a calibration process that we'll show you in a moment. At this point, we will now ask Kate to come into the observation room, and we'll demonstrate how the electrodes that she's been wired with are connected to the EEG. Okay. There we go. We're now in the observation booth, and Kate is sitting down now. She's comfortable. It's at this point where Kate's eye movements are being calibrated to the screen. So this is one of the first processes that we'll typically undergo in our experiments to be able to get that out of the way. It's a fairly straightforward process. It takes a very short period of time, less than half a minute or so. And once the calibration is completed, then we can proceed to hooking up the electrodes to the electrophysiology equipment. And there we go. Okay. And that's, we're done with that process. Now, we'll step on to the next process, which is to connect the physiological equipment. The first thing for us to do is to connect the ribbon cables. Now, there are two of these ribbon cables for us to connect, and so I'll just demonstrate connecting the one. This way, much better. There we go. That ribbon cable is connected. We have the other electrodes that we can hook up. Simply slip in here, like that. And then we have the DIN switches. And it's important that we get these in the correct order. Bring this around the front. And our DIN switch here. And once we've done that, what we do is we simply press the on button. Are we ready to go in there, Ken?
We're ready.
Okay. And there we have it. we're basically ready to proceed with the experiment. The second room or booth of the audiometric suite is the control room. I'll show that to you now. This is a single-walled room. It is adjacent to the experimental or observation room, and this is where all of the equipment is that we record the data that we acquire. We are in the control booth of the audiometric suite, and this is where we basically control the experiments from. You can see through the window here, Kate is in the other room. She's all wired up and we're ready to go. How you doing in there, Kate?
I'm still fine.
Good, good. Now you'll notice that we do have visual access as well as audiovisual access to the observation room, and this allows us to keep close monitoring on our participants so that we're very clear that they're doing well. And what we do is we initiate the experiment from within here. The data that is acquired in the other room comes through the cable pass-through into our acquisition computers, and that's basically all there is to it. There is a little bit more to it than that, of course, and that is the challenge of being able to acquire all of these various data sets, the audio, the visual, the eye tracking, the electrophysiology, in a time-synchronous and integrated manner.